Trust me, feed me, fuck me, let me touch me. This whole world is cold and ugly. What we are is low and lovely. I am the most beautiful Pokemon, the most beautiful Pokemon. Let me be your favorite nightmare. Close your eyes and I'll be right there while open. Pokemon, let me be your favorite nightmare. Close your eyes and I'll be right there while
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the launch of the No Main Topic Show. There is no main topic. We don't really have a script. Everything is everything. No filters, no censors, no bleed buttons. Pull up a seat and have a listen. Make no mistake, this is what's definitely been missing. Political to mystical, I promise not to bullshit you. Shouts to S.STREET Media and the good brothers, Math and Sosa. Handing out the grand opportunity to have your voice heard on the broad signal media. Pioneer shit, real shit for the people from the street. All right. You can follow us at S.STREET Media on Instagram and myself, Coquito_King_NY. Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Lord. All right. And I found this opportunity from a good friend of mine, J Lo. Shout out to the Real Game Podcast, S.STREET Media. You know what it is. And it inspired me to get on here and have my own platform. So I'm well informed. I'm pretty much in tune with most of what's going on. I pick and choose my battles. I'm live on Facebook. I do what I do, like we all do. But I feel like, getting older and not having, taking the internet more serious and not playing with it as a joke, there's a lot more ways to be responsible for what goes on around you, especially if you have any complaints about society. You don't like this, you don't like that, the racism, the president, anything. The best thing you can do is be a bigger part of it. So through this, I'm going to do that with my own spin on it, my own opinion. So, I'm going to put my battle shield up, but, I got my Second Amendment rights and my First Amendment rights. So understand where I'm coming from with this. Other than that, I'm easygoing. I got my own opinions. no opinions. I'll do my best to be fact-based because I feel like if you're going to give your opinion, it should at least come from a factual standpoint. It's fair to everybody that way, you know. And if you're going to pick a side, you know, pick one. But it's neither here nor there. I knocked out earlier today, and I was watching SVU, like one of the early ones, 2003 and all that. And, you know, back to back, skipping through the years, and I realized something about how we as a society look at things like sexual assault, the Me Too movement. It's something that kind of permeates everything. You know, it's out there. You know, we all got some way to, you know, make it better or apologize for what we've done, you know, and be better about it. If we can't form an apology, do the best you can. Talkspace, talkspace.com. Make use of that if you think you need to. All right, those who know what Talkspace is, it's a place where you can meet therapists, you can talk and get some things out. It's not like it was years ago where, you know, the thought of therapy means you're going to get put in a straitjacket and be medicated and all that. No, you know, you might just need to solve a real problem that you can't figure out in your mind. Doesn't mean like you're screwed up. So don't take it that way. If you got to talk, that's what it's called, Talkspace, you know. But what hit me is how the lingo shaped the culture, right? When police are dealing with victims, special victims, they have special training for this type of situations because one of the things that's different from other units is these are live victims. Homicide deals with the people who've already gone. So they have to take very, you know, have to keep kid gloves on certain situations, and they have to be psychologically prepared to deal with what's going to, you know, show up in the evening or anything. It isn't always, you know, the typical assault, rape. It's oftentimes a kidnapping. It's, you know, some by chance 17-year-old kid, you know, getting in bed with a 18-year-old, and someone tells it at the last minute. It's all kind of craziness. But I believe it does surround the pathology that we in society have to take responsibility for. So when I'm asked about these things or I give my opinions, people sometimes think that I'm being like, you know, nonchalant and not caring because I don't take the emotional route. I feel a tactical route is better because it gets the job done. It allows you to be non-emotional so you can focus on what needs to be focused on. It's not to victim blame. It's not to call anybody out. It's not to say you're wrong, you're wrong. We can all help each other do something about it if we look at it and have a conversation, have an open one, a fair one, not one that's dominated by feelings and emotion. Because you got to respect all those things, but in a certain context, it's not to be everywhere. Like, I'm guilty of it on Facebook. You know, you can hang me about it. I'm not calling anybody out, but it's how we feel. It's something that people are talking about, and everybody deserves to be heard. It's true. You don't, you know, put your comment down. Might not mean much, but put your comment down. You know, that's real. So my thing with that is when dealing with it tactically from my standpoint, understanding what a predator is. I think this is real important. I won't be too long on it. It's sensitive to some people, and I get that, and I do apologize in advance. Predators' environments have to be perfect. This is why certain times of the year that shark don't swim on the east side of Africa, South Africa swims on the west side. The water has to be right. Everything has to be perfect for it to do what it does. That's a predator, right? When you think about these people who commit these atrocities, what they go through, there's something behind them that they're dragging. You got to take note of that. And the reason why I say it is because that lets you know where the mind might be. That's a red flag for you, okay? We've all had ourselves red flagged by people, and maybe that's okay. We're not all meant for each other in any type of relationship aspect, whether it be professional or intimate. That's not the way it always is. So I think that when you look at it tactically, you get to see it from other perspectives. So maybe different ideas can benefit you. Not to say that you owe anybody any of your entitled freedoms to walk free and do what you do, dress how you want, okay? But you do owe yourself some modicum of protection, okay? Do you have the character to be protected? That's another thing I'm going to go into, probably another show. But just think about that, what it takes to be protected, how you got to train yourself, including your staff or your little military. You know, these people will go into this country and hire some bad motherfuckers with some AKs and pay them out for the day and won't nobody touch them. Why are those guys that good? Should you be aspiring to all that? If you in that you know, part of like line of work or in that walk of life, even if you're not, putting a camera up there is the same thing as getting a crew with guns. You want to be safe. It's the same thinking, the same idea. What level of safety can you manage? But when it comes to that, knowing what a predator is important for people who, you know, women, men, anyone, children especially. Oh, we got to get this to the kids. Because kids process things differently. When they grow up with it, it's a part of the structure. Changes a whole lot. Predator can't do what it does when the water's too murky. It can't hunt. It can't seek. It can't do certain things. So by murky in the water, murky in the water, like making your children aware of it, making yourselves aware of it, not being afraid of it, looking at it from a forensic standpoint, a profile standpoint. You don't have to be a policeman or a lawman or a lawyer to know these things. These things are in books, psychology books. Like, you wonder how Batman in the comic book is so awesomely accurate. They got like piles of fucking books where they pull it from to write these stories. That's why it's so intricate and so interesting. And when you take a comic like Batman and channel it through these real life channels, you get these references. So someone is on the creative side is that intelligent to put that in there with respect to it all. That includes victims and everyone else alike. I think that's how we need to look at it. You feel what I'm saying? It's responsible enough. It allows us to do what we can individually, differently, separately from each other. I think that's best because I'm not capable of doing what you're doing, like you're not capable of doing what I'm doing. Why try to beat our head against the wall about that? Different ways and different things get done. I think our strengths are in our differences. If you have an enemy, you really can't see you coming if you got like ninjas. Like we all got different skills. Looking like a yard worker, looking like whatever else, and then pop out and kill everybody. Not figuratively. Like, don't listen. I talk that big shit and I be with it, but just no bloodbath. That's not it. That is not. It's not how it's supposed to work. Don't look toward that. So with that, I'd like to say that when it comes to victims, I really feel for victims. It's difficult to talk about what you go through. It's difficult to really deal with it, and that deserves a lot of respect. Anywhere it can happen, expressing yourself is a big deal, especially when you've been trained not to, and these things have occurred and it really has buried it inside you. But you got to let it out. That's like your light, if you rose out the concrete, so to speak. You deserve that. We all do. And another reason I'm here is to make it so that maybe we can have a conversation. I'm bringing this side to it, so maybe we can talk or speak amongst yourselves. I'm not here to persecute anybody. I'm not here to say that I'm right and you're wrong. I know I really got that with me. I get it. I really am monolithic on but it's more of watching a lot of people with different opinions. So what's the common part? Where do you come to the middle on? And even for the fringe people, what's up with them? Because when you don't get listened to, look at a victim or a attacker. They go through this shit when they're a kid and they just end up becoming abusers when they get older. No one listened to me. No one heard me. I said it happened. They didn't listen. They didn't believe me. You bug the fuck out. And you're right, so you lash out at the right moment. I want to segue to this young woman. Y'all know her name, Centonia Brown. Say her name again, Centonia Brown. She's a young lady who was sentenced to, what was it? It said she won't be able to get parole till she's 51 under a new drug law enacted in 1995 down in Tennessee. That's very tragic because she killed the man that she was sold to out of fear for her life. Yes, I said that. Sold to. This girl was sex trafficked for a long time before she got to this man. That is ugly because it undermines her as a person to have that set upon her like, oh, this is your fault. Get the fuck out of here. No way. See that bug out point? Okay, that's where she's at. If she already hasn't relinquished to the fact that this is really getting more fucked up than it needs to be. It's crazy. That's the type of shit that a lot of black people go through in America. I'm not creating an excuse, but it's facts. These years of this genetic memory shit that we got, this man is serious, and the science of how to defeat black folks is serious. You don't take that laying down. You take it seriously. You don't lay victim to it. You don't hang it on the fucking wall. You don't make it a part of your whole march and step. That gives you away, honestly. I'm not trying to diss black people. That's just my opinion. When you give away your emotions and your feelings to your enemy, they can write down what you do and follow you. They make you feel that way. Okay? You know what it is. It's a science. It's not no conspiracy theory shit. It's completely real. Look in the back of your cereal box. Go ahead. Google all that shit. You'll figure it out. And if you make a better decision, good. If not, good. For me, it's respect just the same. But this young lady right here, she deserves a whole lot more than the system is giving her. And I think we can be better about how we look at these situations by once again educating our children on what these things look like. Be aware of cars following you. One of my suggestions to parents is put your children in martial arts classes because it's rare you hear of those men handling children. I know how folks think. Some other grown folks, oh my God, what's happening with my child? It's on TV, like with the SVU shit. I had to turn it off. Like, all right, 1, 2 is enough. It's a bit much. Shout out to their success. But that you gotta cut it off after like 2 or 3. Change the channel. Hold on. I get my notes straight. When it comes to that issue, we have to take note into what occurs in the mind of the victim. We have to take note into that, whether we're aware of it or not. We have to take note of what they're feeling, what that might go through, without actually having to go through it. It's crazy. I need to kind of get to that part because I think that we have been going through all forms of it, microaggressions, actual aggressions, and just flat out getting ruined. Like those girls that was discovered in that place, the homeboys eating a sandwich, looking like one of them Eddie Murphy characters. That good brother right there, help them get free. Like, how long was in there? 8 years, something like that? Like, that is nuts. That's crazy. That's some victim shit. And at the end of the day, we got to take into account of what that feels like, right? My tactical stance, I feel, takes a big account of that because it watches what everyone does, how they behave, how they respond. It creates a big fucking chunk of data that you can watch from and choose from, and not to choose from, but like study and see what you're looking at, what you're dealing with, what you might be dealing with. This is not that difficult to do. The police do it a lot. And it's not like to big up the police, but they are a bastion of information. Don't they watch the shit out your ass? They know what everybody doing outside. Trust me. They know you don't be in the shit. And know he over there, he always in the shit. They know. They the referees in the street and they do their job. I didn't say it was a good job, but they do their job. Okay? Stop getting in the penalty box. Play the damn game right. If you don't know, ask somebody. They'll tell you. Let me not get off the topic. Understanding what goes to a victim's head helps you also see patterns that might have come up from some part of your life, especially as a black person in America. We have that happening, past trauma. This shit is real. It's not to be an excuse, but it is real, okay? And you have to take it that way. You have to take it very, very seriously. You have to be mindful of it. If times that I have not been mindful, people on Facebook over years that know me, I do apologize for that. There's no but. Y'all can hit me in the head if you want to. You already have, and it's okay. It's a process. I'm learning how to deal with that and grow from it and be better. This is another reason why I took this opportunity, because I feel that a lot of people who may think like me don't get a chance to speak because most are not going to really listen. But it's okay. It's perfectly okay. Come one, come all. All right. So with that, I want you to also understand what it is to respect a fellow human being. Like I said, understand the mind of the victim. Respecting those who also have not gone through this. Okay? That's the other side of the equation we don't speak on, because the people who have gone through it, it's such an ugly thing, and they've been taught to march and parade with it by interest groups and fucking pieces of shit, and they prey on your better sense and make it seem like this is the best way you can do is keep hitting someone in the head with it. You're still hitting them hard in the head with a reality that they don't want any part of, something that was a nightmare to them, or like a nightmare, something they might have just barely escaped themselves. You don't know. There's different levels of psychological harm in the world. Everything is not just about that. So those who have not gone through it, you got to give them a bit of a pass if they seem ignorant or might not be aware of your situation. But as I said earlier, we all deserve to give that our attention and be the best we can be individually for it. Let's not do what everyone else is trying to do. Stay aware, but find your own strength in it and be the best you can, whether it be social work, this medium here, whether it be a kind word, whether it be flowers, anything. Leaving things off at your local shelters. Listen, in the hood, you can recognize shelter real easy. The building got all white shades. In the hood, don't nobody shades all be the same. That building's a shelter, more than likely. Go see if it is. And if you got any spare books, any clothes, leave them all right there. Make sure they're clean, because them kids deserve it. Leave it all right there, and they'll be grateful for you. You're not getting no money for it. Just do it out of the kindness of your heart. Spring clean and get rid of your baby books and give them to the shelter. All right? That's what you do with that. That's the way to help out. Socks, socks, socks. Socks all day long. That shelter needs socks. I tell you, I've been there. Oh, they need socks. All right, make it available so people can have it. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it there, and I'm gonna say this to anybody that I may have offended. I'm truly sorry, but I speak on it because, in my mind, anybody being victimized on any level, whether it be that or any kind, it's not good. It tears away at your soul, especially when you don't realize it. And once you do realize it, or maybe keep going through it. Everyone don't have the power to be as strong as I or you or someone else may be. And we know people like that. And it's not to leave them out in the dark at all. But everybody got to help out in this situation. So to put upon people who may not be aware or those who are hyper aware is just a bit much. You got to find a medium, do the best we can to be civil about that. I'm working on that, growing the best I can. I can't promise you a date or result date. That's not going to happen. So bear with me. If not, I love you just the same. All right. On to something a little more positive. I want to talk about education. Okay, I'm a parent here at the school system in the Bronx, and my children in public school. And I'm always on top of what's happening with school because that's my job as a parent. It can be frustrating because oftentimes I end up having to deal with a situation where there are almost no parents helping out. But what I've learned being in the shelter system is that a lot of parents don't have time and are not aware of how things can be done. Some people are not mentally aware of how to get themselves ready in the morning with a basic brushing teeth and washing up. They don't know what that is. It's real. And the kids go to school like that, and it's very damning to the kid. And psychologically, it's crazy. But knowing what's happening in the school, you can find resources that'll help you get there. Many schools offer these things, and when you walk into most schools, main offices, pick up all them pamphlets. That's something happening in the community that maybe you can be a part of. Take your kids somewhere for free. Get yourself an NYC ID card, not the state ID, but the NYC ID. It gets you in the zoos. It gets you into the botanical gardens. These places at discount prices, even on peak days. So make sure you get that done. It's great for your children too. When it comes to education, knowing what's happening in your school is important. Knowing what's going on with the inner workings of your school is important. The SLT, Student Leadership Team, School Leadership Team, excuse me. That's the school's lifeblood, okay? I always say that's the mafia because they control how everything moves. You get one meeting at the beginning of the year with the superintendent of your district, and she tells you what's expected, and you do your best to make it happen. 8 parents, 8 teachers. Parents are allowed to come into these meetings, and each one of your school has an SLT meeting in that school or maybe somewhere else. You find out where it is. If you're not on the board, you can come in and sit and take notes. You can't ask questions, and you can learn what's going on with your school. The district leadership team, that's at your educational center, wherever it is in your borough. In the Bronx, it's over there by Halsey Street and those brown buildings, those low brown buildings. You know where it is, by Zariga Avenue. I don't know about the other boroughs. Find out where it is, though. Well, once again, the SLT is in your school. It is not anywhere else. They might meet somewhere else, but it's in your school. You can ask for when that meeting occurs. I believe it's twice a month. So be there so you know what's going on. Also, when it comes to picking a school for your kid, you want to find out what your kid's best strengths are. I'm not talking about no diagnostic tests. I'm going to get into that in a minute. You can also choose a school by what your kids' extracurricular activities are. A lot of small schools are taking on helpful programs that allow them to introduce STEM or science programs into their school. And they also make it easier for creative kids to have an outlet. They have extended day, and then some schools have after school until about 9 p.m. That's how it is in my daughter's school, PS 217. Yeah, and they're piano, everything, any kind of art you can imagine, it's all available to them. When you select in school for your kid, just make sure that it's not more of what the school can do for your kid, but more of how your kid's hard work can contribute to that school. Please look at it that way, because that's very, very important. It's the only thing that's going to be fair to your kid, because all they can fight on is their merit if they are called for anything else. So make sure that your children are working hard to maintain good grades, regardless of the situation. We are about to head to break, and you will listen to some awesome music. Thank you for your time. It's been great. This is the No Main Topic Show. I'm your host, Lloyd Monroe, and I'm here with S.STREET Media. Shout out to Mav. Shout out to Sosa. Shout out to my man J Lo, J Loco of the Real Game Pod Show. Shout out to Jamaica Jello. She'll be here tonight around midnight. This has been great so far, and I'll see you back in a few minutes. All right? Peace.
Baby, bring me flowers, flowers. Maybe 'cause you're sour, sour. This universe is ours, ours. With the whiff of this bouquet, we can do what we want, let it be the gateway. Okay, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, okay. Baby, when you come and see me, bring those flowers that I love. No tea roses, Easter lilies, that ain't what I'm thinking of. What I need is way more potent than carnations or some posies. Pick the petals, light them up, and feel them fill you up. Let the fragrance elevate us to a place we can do anything. Embrace today is our escape. Don't think about anything, let go. I'm your every desire that you let me know. And you know we can make up some new ones if we lose control. Baby, bring me flowers, flowers. Maybe 'cause you're sour, sour. This universe is ours, ours. With the whiff of this bouquet, we can do what we want, let it be the gateway. Okay, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, okay. Okay. No special occasion, and neither persuasion, 'cause they know what I'm looking for. With my head in the clouds, I'm looking for yours. Deeper than the surface, let me in your core. Conversations flowing, but I'm starting to lose focus. The way your two lips move, I see them moving. My legs open, keep going. Let the fragrance elevate us to a place we can do anything. Embrace today is our escape. Don't think about anything, let go. I'm your every desire that you let me know. And you know we can make up some new ones if we lose control. Baby, bring me flowers, flowers. Maybe 'cause you're sour, sour. This universe is ours, ours. With the whiff of this bouquet, we can do what we want, let it be the gateway. Okay, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, okay. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back and good night. This is a No Main Topic Show. This is a launch show, the inaugural show, first show. Shout out to Mav, shout out to Sosa at S.STREET Media Entertainment. Like I said, no main topic. We discuss any and everything. No filters, no censors, and no bleep button. Pull up a seat, have a listen. Make no mistake, this is what's been missing. Political or mystical, I promise not to bullshit you. Shout out to S.STREET Media once again. Shout out to myself, Coquito King at New York. Instagram, Coquito _ King _ New York. Shout out to J Loco of the Real Game Podcast. Yo, I've had an awesome night from first time doing this show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, for listening. I appreciate the opportunity, Math. You're my nigger. You know it. Yeah, so before we cut out, I was speaking a bit on education, and just one more jewel with that. When it comes to your children's education, please be aware that the biggest effort you can make is the best move you can make for your children. Always. It don't always have to be money. It's just your presence, your time, going to certain meetings and learning what's happening with your school. See how much of a better part of it you can be. Getting with your students, your kids, teachers, your educators, and developing a rapport with them. Having an email going back and forth about what they're learning, how you can teach yourself. You know, we as grown people have not gotten much better about how we're helping our children, how we're being lone examples of this, like how we grew up. I'm 38 years old, okay? I was raised by my great-grandmother, so she was the adult, period. It wasn't no government and anybody else. They coming to take you. You ain't cross nanny. That was your ass. Bottom line, y'all know what it is. And even though that kind of leadership, that time, that comes with some real ugly stuff, is one of the strongest structures yet that gets the best results. You got to be disciplined, you got to be about what you're about, and you got to stay strong in your purpose. Okay, if that means protecting your family, you do what I say, okay, with everything else, it goes in the way, that's what needs to happen. Fuck all the bullshit. You got to take charge of your kids' life, your kids' education. You got to be their mother and father, not their friend. Okay, that other suggestion shit is crazy. Your house is your house, and you take charge of that. That teaches him the same thing. That helps build community. All right, trust me on that one. Okay, you ain't got to beat the hell out your kids. It's not necessary. Okay, when it is, let some time go between the next one because it can't be frequent. You already know what it is, but it also needs to be meaningful. Like keep them on with a list. Don't play with me. Don't mess with me. But make sure that they are, in place about that, especially with school. They have to learn to treat that with respect and reverence. School is a safe zone. School is a learning place. You have to help them understand how important a book is. I'll give you a little story. My great-grandfather, he played lead guitar for Supremes and Temptations, union musician. Came out of Marietta, Georgia, 1916, abusive household. He left for Canada 14 and telling his brothers and sisters, I'm going to come back for all 7 of you, and he did 7 years later. Okay, he bust his ass working hard. Best reputation you want to have for any worker, for any sheet music, for anything. He was top notch, and he never complained. He never bitched and moaned, and none of that. Now he wasn't going to go with my great grandmother in the King's Plaza with her from 11 o'clock to fuck all that. He sat in that car in that '84 Chrysler New Yorker and read 5 newspapers in about 4 or 5 hours time. I said, Pappy, why are you always sitting in here reading the newspaper? He looked up, he said, I remember once upon a time it was illegal for me to read. I said, illegal? He said, yeah, they didn't let black people read when I was a boy. Wow. 8 years old hearing that? That blew my mind. I sat quiet the whole way back to Coney Island. I didn't make a sound in the back seat. I was astounded by that. And then my great-grandmother began showing me black history. So, it's just to say that kind of interest in your child's life shows them how serious it needs to be taken, and it instills something in them to automatically do it for the next generation. That kind of thing needs to come back. Like I said, it doesn't require an ass whooping every 5 minutes or yelling and cussing all damn day. It doesn't require that. Sometimes you got to get them out the house. Let's go to the parks. Y'all don't go crazy. Let them run around for a while, get tired. That works until they're about 19 years old, believe me. You got a 19-year-old, a 15-year-old, and a 14-year-old in your backseat snoring from running around playing in the park. That's how it works. Okay, it was quiet the whole ride home. Then I ran past Wendy's. Fuck them, going home. That's what it was for them, and it was great. It felt good. And my children running around. That was lovely. But let me not get too far off the point. I tend to do that. I talk my mind. That's how I do. Y'all with it? Yeah. What's the homework? Show me. You got to sit there and learn it. You got to look at it. You got to read it. You got to understand it. If you don't know, write a note to the teacher. Email me how you do this. You can figure it out because you're an adult. You got a fucking brain, okay? You're gonna use it for your kids. Show them how that's done. Instill that in them. They deserve that much from you. You got you direct DNA. Show them how that's done. It ain't got to be emotional. This is what we do. We don't fail out. We work hard. So doing that with your kids, help them understand how to respect that school and how to walk in there, how to conduct themselves, how to apply themselves. Put themselves in clubs in that school that could further their education. Let them do that. Hey, mom, I'm interested in ROTC. Doesn't mean they go into the Army. But if your kids want to do ROTC, which is in the military, let them do it. Okay? That's a good discipline that kids need to have. I just had a post on Facebook. My friend said, he think kids need to do 4 to 6 years in military. I was like, nah, 2 is good. But military gives you structure, make you do certain things, keep your whole shit clean. You cannot be dirty. Come on. That's a wonderful way to be. You constantly discipline. You know, that puts you in line to make a lot of money if you're business savvy. Discipline is everything in business. I'll get to that shortly. So in closing, as far as education, just take an interest in your kids' education. Find out what's happening in school. Be the biggest part of that. You ain't got to make too much noise. You ain't got to be on PTA. If you don't got time to be on these things, attend the meetings. Learn when those are. What you can do is find out where the Community Educational Council meets in your district, okay? That would be CEC.12 for District 12 in the Bronx at nyc.schools.gov. That's how that works. So find out where they're meeting. You can sit there and take notes as well and maybe affect a better change. Just be there, be present, take notes, and do the best that you can. All right. One of the things I want to talk about is some of my future guests, because my show, I plan on having this for quite a while. I wanted to bring on a gentleman who can give you a dimension of the streets from behind the badge. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. That's real interesting. You know, I also want to bring on my uncle Sanga. He is one of Baba Olatunji's last students, and I want him to introduce the rhythm, the drum to the people. I want him to also talk about how important it is for African people to have a drum in their home, not from the land, but black people. Rhythm people, don't matter. You could be Mexican and all that. You follow the rhythm, you need to have one in your house. Most brown people cultures do. Always, across the board. So he's going to be here to teach you that importance. I want to talk about something that's happening in the community that affects a lot of people, and it's the construction unions in the trade, union trades. What's happening with that is non-union is pretty much taken over, not taking, it pretty much sealed it. I hate to talk like that because I'm a laughed out of Local 46 and I feel for the situation. I've worked here and there, being what it is. My own personal stuff keeps me from work sometime, but I've never been without work as a lat. I've never been like clawing for work. It's never really been what's happening to me. Like I can make ends meet. Sometimes it's like that. Once again, an emotional situation that seems like it's violating people by not letting them work. We got to look at it tactically. Non-union claims that they can less costs, better wages for people, more safe and everything. They make it seem like unions are asking for too much money. Some people feel like it is, but the living wage in the city is ridiculous. Your rent can be up to about $6,500 every 2 months, or even like $4,000 a month some places. Low income, and I'm talking about working poor. Low income could be anywhere from $3,500, the lowest would be about $2,100. A lot of people in the homeless system and the shelter system actually kind of make their way in there because you really can't pay the rent that you started with. So if you catch an eviction and going through PATH, they can set you up with a place. Now, when I tell you this, I'm telling you right now, this is not a map to try this shit. I'm telling you what's going on. Do you hear me? Do not try this shit because they will toss your ass out and they remember that you tried that and you get fucked up even more. If you are seriously in a homeless situation, do not fucking try to go in there like, I'm gonna bop in there and see if I get me a crib. Listen here, you are homeless. Don't play with your fucking life. You go in there to get help. If they're able to help you, if you're eligible, you'll get a crib. Okay, if you do what you got to do. Do not walk in there saying, I'm bopping in, I'm going to get me a crib, I'm going to play the system. Don't fucking do it. That situation is dead serious. A lot of people rely on that more than you realize. When you walk your ass into the path, either the one on 33rd Street or the one up in the Bronx on 153rd, and you see all them people having to drag their plastic bag through the fucking metal detector, okay, you know how serious this shit is. All right? It's not where you want to be. So take that seriously. If you need their assistance, go do what you got to do. Bottom line. But when you take away the union aspect of work, you take away the American aspect of it, the free aspect of it. These are not just beliefs. It's the idea that we are working hard, that we should be getting $51.50 a fucking hour for this work, really, whether you agree with that or not. Okay, we're going to really act like we don't care about that, but it's not to that degree. It's very mathematically understandable why this wage is necessary. This is not just bullshit. Okay, and anything you read in the news like, oh, they were overpaying this and underpaying. Those things are all manageable in their budgets long before they even lay the first daggone pile in that, before they even break down the gate to put a backhoe in there and start working. That's all been factored in. When they make these statements, it's to get the public in the mind of these construction guys are greedy, they don't care, they're crass, they're disgusting, they're ugly, they don't pay attention to rules. As far as safety goes in construction, I didn't really see a lot of guys getting hurt until all the safety protocols got put in. When I first came in '02, you kind of had to go on your natural instinct of what not to do out there. It didn't require a lot of brain work. It was more like, okay, am I going to die doing that? Okay, let's not do that. It really is that simple. It didn't require a harness or a vest. Okay, I once saw a guy working at Yankee Stadium who had on a safety vest. We were building a trap for put into the stadium seats. It's got rebar that's made like an umbrella, and the edges of rebar are razor sharp, right? It pulled him up into the air. And this guy was like 140 pounds. It pulled him right up into the air about 6 feet. And he couldn't get the radio around his neck to get to say, pull it down. We had to like run over to the crane and tell him to put the load down. He was in the air for like a good 40 something seconds. That's a lot. And all because he had on a safety vest. They didn't want him to wear the shirt that wouldn't have got caught, but the vest, that's mandatory. So once that happened, they changed the vest rule. So things like that have become the norm in construction, and they've served, I think, to make unions seem like an enemy across the board, to give a very non-positive outlook on construction workers, union workers especially. I think it's designed to make us all look the same, so you can't tell us apart from one another. And it's not necessarily a good thing. It's not like it's solidarity at all. It doesn't benefit us. It's not the best situation in the world. And just as any good people might do who believe in union, we're going to just do the best we can to adapt and continue to give a good product, make buildings that don't fall or not crumbling in their own foundations because they've been erected improperly. Okay, if someone told you that there was 20,000 pounds of rebar missing in your foundation, would you move in that building, Math? Never in your motherfucking life. Math looked up, no, not me. Why would you? It's the dumbest thing in the world. If your terraces are holding water, your building wasn't built properly. Pay attention. If it's after 2006, I can tell you that much. Before that, 70 standards are very different. But look at those buildings are still standing. Okay, 70s buildings probably got studs in the wall that are 16 inches apart as opposed to 12, which is the standard now. But they're still standing because of the kind of people during those years who respected shit, didn't fuck shit up. They back in them same buildings again, doing the right thing by. They're older now. Okay. That too, we can't get into how people take care of their own personal affairs, but, what I talked about earlier with the SVU stuff about how you look at a victim, you take some consideration into the human condition, apply that science here, and you can understand why this is even much more of an insidious attack than it might just be for money or property or whatever. Someone's livelihood is being taken away, their ability to work under certain comfortable and well-expected conditions, like paying me on time. That's not a lot to ask for. Consider every 30 days you got to pay somebody else on time. So that's really it. Support all of your local construction endeavors. I got a couple of good friends on Facebook. I'm going to give a shout out to S.STREET, who started her own construction company. And just out of sheer need for something different to change, she just grinded. She did the work. She met the right people. You know, she really put the effort in to create her own company, and now she's able to give opportunities to people who are looking to work. I think that's a wonderful thing. Shout out to her father, Minister Hawk. I want to also speak on everyday social, right? These are just things that I basically see all the time. Like, I be walking, I see people walking in the street on the traffic side of it. Like, here I go being silly. It's just this much. I'm gonna just, let this go for a minute. If you walking on that side of the street, man, I'm sorry, you kind of deserve it. Like, you deserve it just a bit to get at least tapped, right? Because you get hit, you get dragged. I don't want you to die. I don't want to be talking about, oh, fucking kill him. Like, no, don't kill nobody, please. Don't do it. Getting hit by cars is real tragic. It really is. But how you walking on that side of the traffic? I see if the sidewalk is fucked up, but it'd be a perfectly fine sidewalk. Man, you is in the traffic. What the fuck? Like, cut that shit out. That shit make anybody mad, for real. Especially cats and motorists. It's crazy. What else? Oh yeah, ladies, listen here. I don't give a fuck about how the hell that child got in your possession and his father ain't shit. Whoever's father ain't shit. I wouldn't give a fuck what that situation is. What I need y'all to stop doing, okay, is putting that fucking carriage in the street before your ass. That shit gets on my motherfucking nerve. That grinds my gears, so to speak. Because you should walk beside it so we can see you out there and maybe the carriage with you. Putting the baby out there first, you want to make it seem like, well, you should stop because the baby's out there. You're not protecting that child. You put it in front of you. The child's in front of you. The fuck is that? Okay? Makes no sense. All right? Lean your ass down and pull the middle of that motherfucking twin stroller across that street so you can get out in front of you and walk across safely. Do that. Show some concern for the life of your daggone child. Yeah, I'm judging your ass. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? With elderly people, oh, listen, I will scream on the old motherfucker in a minute, but I'll instantly regret it. I really will, because it's not good for them. You really should not do that. Old people are old by a blessing. Hopefully you get there. I really, let me apologize for my bad behavior on that one. I've done it. Old motherfucker, you get tired of it. Especially when they're driving the car like they're from fucking Florida, still like, yo, pull over. Like, get out and walk, because you driving like you walking. That's unacceptable. But take it easy with them. Like, don't harass old folks. Motherfuckers who do that to old people, man, y'all need to burn the fucking hell on the cross, right? With the first nail up your ass and just stick you right to the fucking cross. Set that whole thing on fire like a piece of, like wrap it up, a little bomb, and just light it on your ass. That's what the fuck you need. You're horrible, right? Even if the old motherfucker is one of them ancient, crotchety, he done molested 40 kids. Hey, sonny. He one of them motherfuckers. You don't deserve to kill him. For real. You don't put that shit on you. Fuck that. Leave that old bastard alone. What else? So on my crazy ass head. School bus people. Let me talk to y'all for a minute, man. Y'all think y'all gangsters in the morning with them big shits. Y'all really think y'all just brand new bad motherfuckers with them buses in the morning. Listen to me clearly. I love children. I truly do. They're great little things, right? Right? Cool. I'm not a child person. I don't have a child fetish. No, I'm not going to be the daycare dude. I'll pull my belt out real fast. It gets results. That's just me. Even though I love children, I look at them like, those is your children. That's just me. Even though I have 4 of my own, those is mine. Them 4 is mine. See? So, when it comes to dealing with your children, okay, you need to have them asses by the motherfucking collar when they doing wrong. You understand me? You need to do all that, because letting them run wild, you meet motherfuckers like me that ain't gonna give a shit. I got a size 15 and I will kick your child all across the fucking street. I'm not playing. I don't know, little motherfuckers had no respect and they learned it from you. Okay? So, I could definitely kick your ass. But that little motherfucker, look, let the bitch loose. What's Lamilton? I'd like to do bad things. Bop! That motherfucker asleep. Right where he need to be. For real. That is not child abuse. Child abuse is letting them think he can do shit like that all day long, letting that boy stick his finger in the Cool Whip and smoking cigarettes. That shit is not cool. You won't send that motherfucker outside nowhere. And he got outside niggas gonna come outside. The Milton gonna be outside. He gonna take our ice cream from the ice cream man. Shit. Drop that bitch off the first floor. He can't. He too fat to run. He gonna die right there. Heart attack. But yeah, even that situation, bullying especially. Let's be real with that. And you got a bully situation. You owe it to your kids to really teach them. This is just my opinion. Let me just be serious for a minute in my little rant. When you have a situation with bullying, you owe it to your child to make them really feel like they can have control in the situation. I'm not making the fists like a knockout fist, but like holding on tight. I got control of this. I don't need to be afraid of this person. I don't need to mind them saying your mama's so fat because my mother's not fat. My mama's nice looking. I don't got to worry about any of that. That's just words. Now, understanding what it is one thing. Reacting to it is another. I don't think you need to give the bully any more unhealthy attention than it already has. It's already gotten the wrong kind of attention at home, and it wants something better at school. It'll take what it can get. Teach your kids it might be okay to administer a knuckle sandwich if they need to as well. They can take that too. Take it and like it. All right. You don't deserve to have. You don't be put on by anybody that wants to take something from you. Anything, change, pride, ass, none of that shit. Fight, beat, whoop their ass, kick them down the stairs 10 times. Ride them down the stairs like a fucking face down like a goddamn surfboard. Do some cartoon shit to them. Fuck it. The DA will understand. They sure will. So when it comes to that, teach your children that it's okay to fight back against a bully, whether it be physical or even if it's gathering proof, if it's cyberbullying, it's okay to make a case for yourself. It's okay to stand up for yourself. Anything that not let them think that being a victim is okay, because once that gets locked into the mind, it's very hard to let go, and the bully could just sit back and chill, and they'll always win. Like a bad pimp to a woman, just stay in her head no matter the nigga being dead 5 years. She don't know he's still over there. No, he's not. So make that so your kids can walk with that and have confidence that you're going to back them as well. Okay. Now, one of the things I do love to talk about is music. I'm a big fan of music, always have been. Like I said, my great-grandfather was a musician, heavy in the game. And I always like to look at production credits because I feel like that shows me where the artist is coming from. It occurs a lot between hip-hop and jazz, right? Tribe Called Quest does this. A lot of Coltrane. Ninth Wonder uses a lot of Ahmad Jamal, so does Kanye West. I put my man Math onto a sample, Ahmad Jamal's joint, what is it called? I think it's I Love Music. Yeah, I Love Music. It's a beautiful medley of one rhythm going through different stages and whatnot. And it shines at about the 4.5 minute mark as you get to hear the sample of whose world is this? The world is yours. And you'll go right past it if you're not paying any mind to it. Then you realize you're hearing it about 15 different times and 15 different iterations throughout the whole song. And that's what makes it so cool. He's able to take that whole thing and break it down like a molecule to make each one. Somebody hip hop and took each one of them levels of that beat and turned it into a hit song. And was that the intent? Did you just leave those little sprinkles out there for cats to pick up? Because it really is a musical breakdown. Really, you hear it's like shit's falling on the fucking floor in that song. It's great though, the way he does it, and then he brings it all back together in the end. It's really, really smooth. I also enjoy the way a Tribe Called Quest takes a lot of Coltrane rhythms and put in a lot of horn rhythms. They got a bit of that dancehall fever with not the dancehall fever, but that old dancehall sound with the horns and all that. I've always noticed that with their work. When it comes to jazz, it's a real big deal for me because I always listened to it growing up. Jazz puts me in a certain kind of mood that lets my brain relax, and it does it for a lot of people. One of my favorites is Ahmad Jamal, mostly for his work in the 70s. But he's prolific anyway. I like John Coltrane. I like Thelonious Monk. I listen to their station on Sirius. I listen to a lot of BGO as well. When I'm looking at production credits, I'm always wondering what was the thought behind how certain songs got made. One of most popular songs out there is I got girls, 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 girls. It's popular, but you know I love Jay-Z, right? Jigga's cool, but that song right there samples a beat from a dude named Tom Brock, right? And the sample name of that song is "There Is Nothing in This World That Could Stop Me From Loving You." Right? The content of that song ain't got really shit to do with Jay-Z talking about, but if you listen to that song, the song is so grown. It talks about how no matter what we've been through, we still friends, even though we were once lovers or whatever serious. I don't have to think about you like how I would if I was scared. Like I'm with you, what might you be doing? No well-meaning friends saying bad things. No anxious telephone that only seldom rings. No lingering doubts to try to put me down. He's real positive about the relationship he has with this person. Even though it's not what it once was, it's still as healthy as it was when it was what it was. And that's the whole purpose behind the song. So it's like thinking about the idea behind that and how do you transfer that over to girls, 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 right? How do you take that same feeling and create that beat like that? Kanye don't go too far into the verses with the maybe 8 bars into it, and he takes something else for 8 bars and then moves on and creates it. Girls, girls. It's great, right? To the point where I kind of felt like that was a Ghostface beat. I kept waiting to hear Tony Stark come in on that shit, you know what I'm saying? But, that never really happened. But just that feeling too, that old school feeling, right? I love to see how new artists like Ninth Wonder, like Just Blaze, how they take these rhythms and they put them into hip hop and make the song more relevant. Ninth Wonder had a remix version of the Black Album, and one of the songs was called Threat 2. And it had the same loop as Curtis Mayfield joint. Top of the head, I can't think of it right now. But it really brought out a different feeling from the original Threat off the regular Black Album. And the song was equally as relevant and it still hit. I'm always playing remixes because I feel like the different idea behind the song shows me what it could be, the potential of the art. And it's just a different way to look at the music for me. Different sheet music for the same song. It's like being in a different world with it, like a different view through a different mirror. You know what I'm saying? And it excites me a lot because it just shows how universal the music is. It's quite the blueprint platform, like original computer and all that. It's beautiful. I personally like to listen to opera and classical as well, original 4-beat. If you ever really wonder why you as a black person like that music, that's black music. If you don't know, the Renaissance is all about the Moors coming over and enriching that part of the world which is barren, had nothing. That's them Black Plague motherfuckers, all right? And not to shit on white people, not to diss white people. We ain't saying white folks is inferior, but that's 800 years of the beauty, the art, this and that, all those things. That was all African inspired, all of it. Okay, Muslim Africans, all kind of whatever, inspired Christian Africans. That's real. It's all inspired by that. And knowing that that's part of your culture and your heritage, it is in you, no matter where you might be from. It's good to take advantage of educating yourself on your interest toward the music. What makes you listen? What makes you keep it in your head all night? What makes you have to have it? How does it work out for you when you in the gym? Yo, you got the music in your head when you in the gym, you get lost. Be like, you look, yo, I ran that far? Oh shit. Like 2 little songs and you just killed it, right? So on the end note, I've enjoyed this experience. It's been wonderful. And shout out to S.STREET Media. Shout out to Mash. Shout out to Sosa. All right. Shout out to J Lo. All right. And shout out to my new audience. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself. I've enjoyed the time you've given me. I will be on next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And we're going to keep this show rolling. My guests are going to come in soon enough. And it's going to be a wonderful experience. And I hope to develop a good bond with S.STREET Media, Jamaica Jello, Stuck being the rest of them, you know what I'm saying? It was a great event last Saturday where I got to sell my Coquito. Yes, Coquito King of New York. We got 10 of them sitting in the fridge right now. I got a whole cooler full of them in the back of my car. You know, I keep that all city. I keep it moving, baby. $5 a pop. You feel me? They can find me at Coquito_King_NY on Instagram or All City Custom Coquito, All City Custom Coquito on Facebook. All right, hit me up. Let you know what the prices are. I'm reasonable and I do deliver. Love you all. And I thank you for your time. Peace.